Ahoy, and welcome into the junk drawer. Today is Monday, January 24th. Dry January is almost over, and it's been well over 4 hours. If you're still fully erect from that Bills-Chiefs game last night, you might want to consult a physician. Guys, welcome into the junk drawer. That joke was terrible. I wanted to see the reaction. That's Jack over there. What's up, Jack?
I'm still reeling after that joke, AD. That was
Sorry,
tough
guys. And that's Hub down there. How are you, Hub?
Doing well. Got my dog in the background. There's Leo right there.
There's Leo back there.
We're both just still coming down from that crazy game last night, or both of them games, actually.
And we're going to peel the curtain back here a little bit. For a second here, we thought Hub's house was on fire. It's all good. It's not a real emergency. So we're here for your entertainment here today.
Yes.
We're talking sports. We're talking anything, guys. This is the junk drawer. We talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. But I would say mostly it's sports, wouldn't you guys? We have a little bit of a sports slant, you could say.
I think we have a niche market.
Niche. Yeah. Not many people talk about sports, right? Which is a good reason to subscribe to this podcast. So like, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, comment along with us. People on YouTube, people on Facebook, Twitter. We cannot see your comments, but just talk amongst yourselves. The other ones on YouTube and Facebook, we'll post them if they're funny, but you got to be funny. So make sure you're funny if you're coming in here. But let's get into it, guys. So our staple segment, good of the week, the back of the week, and the ugly of the week. And honestly, I don't even know what else was good besides football this weekend. It was possibly the best weekend of football ever.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree.
Could be a bold statement, but when you have 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday, I feel like it just, and the way it ramped up too, because Saturday was almost like a little like slow starter, get yourself going. And then Sunday, it was like fireworks. Like it was like just exactly what the NFL wanted. And the grand finale, of course, was the Bills-Chiefs game, which if you still have an erection from that, please consult a physician. But I don't know. I think this weekend proved that the NFL is king. They have a monopoly over entire month of January. It's amazing. I love it. I think you guys need to tell me what your favorite part of the weekend was. Like, at what point were you like, this is it? This is the best weekend ever.
I'll go first. Probably when that Packers punt got blocked. And not even them scoring and tying up the game. I had no dog in the fight. But the ball was up there for 5 seconds, it felt like, and all the players just like looking around for where the ball was. That I don't know why, but that really spoke to me. That tense moment where everyone's just like spinning around looking for the football and snowing on the ground. It's gross. It's football weather. Like, oh, it's football weather. It's football weather. Whatever. And it's just something. There was something pure about that. When they blocked that punt and returned it for a touchdown, I was like, all right, this is going to be the best weekend of football ever. Like the worst game is turning into a classic. You know what I mean?
Into a classic, yeah. Especially at Lambeau too, like the frozen tundra. I mean, it doesn't get much more classic than that.
No, not at all. Amazing.
And it's everything that I didn't expect. I thought there was going to be a lot more scoring in that game, and clearly the weather played an impact there, which just doesn't get much more football than that. I think as a Steelers fan, I think that loss was probably as big as it could be. The Packers losing like that, Aaron Rodgers disgruntled. He already said, I don't want to be a part of a rebuilding process. Wow. Someone's dog is angry.
Sorry, that's my dog.
I thought that was
someone's.
No, sorry.
Finn will probably be right behind him, though.
Yeah, my dog doesn't think that SEAL Team 6 actually killed Bin Laden. So every time there's someone in the hall, he's worried about it.
He's on edge.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul.
Makes sense. Makes sense. But I think with the amount of cap space the Steelers have, there could be a possibility. It's obviously a pipe dream, like just seeing Aaron Rodgers in black and yellow, but it's something I would like to see. I would say and I think after watching the games this weekend, it proved that you need a quarterback. Like you need a quarterback that can throw the ball. And clearly the Steelers have been missing someone that can actually throw the ball more than 12 yards down the field. So
I got to disagree with you there, AD. If that game proves anything to us, it proves that you don't need a quarterback to throw.
Well, okay, not that game. That's a bad example. I'm talking about the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the types of play. I mean, Tom Brady, you can even throw in there. I mean, the guy can still sling the ball. Like players that can throw downfield. Like, I mean, it's like the Steelers starting 11-0 last year proved that maybe the slant game, the short passes can work for a little bit, but eventually teams can adjust after enough film to play against that. And I want to see a team that's competitive, right? And it starts at the quarterback position. So clearly the quarterback position is king, and Patrick Mahomes got paid as such. I mean, the guy, what did he get paid? His contract was over $500 million. It was like 500 something.
Yeah, it's $500 million or 400, 500, something like that.
Whatever it is.
Either way,
I mean, he's worth every penny.
Yeah,
like it's hard to understate how crazy that was, especially. And we beat the Dak Prescott jokes to death. You know, the 14 seconds and that picture of. What was it? Dak on like the 40 with 14 seconds, and then Patrick Mahomes on his own 20 with 13.
Oh my god!
It's
just, one of the 4 teams left doesn't throw the ball though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really easy to say, you need an elite quarterback, you need to score 50 points. What happens in 3 weeks if the 49ers win the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo throwing for 100 yards? In the next 2 games, because the one way to beat teams like that is to keep the ball out of their hands. Like if 13 seconds is too much time to give Patrick Mahomes, then you literally have to run it to 0 to beat them. And you do that by running the ball. I mean, Josh Allen was stupid for throwing that touchdown with 13 seconds left. He should have went down the 1 and then quarterback sneaked it in.
Well, I think Tyreek Hill should have done that. The play before.
Yeah, he should have ran out of the 2 or the 3.
Yeah, to give them less. I don't know, but I mean that game was just such a classic, and it was funny because it really wasn't looking that way either leading up to it. Like it was. I mean, it wasn't a boring game, but it was like a game that like I don't know.
If you had the over, you were concerned.
You were concerned. Maybe that's why I meant by boring. Like there wasn't a lot of scoring, but
yeah.
Until the how many yards did you say Patrick Mahomes had in the final 2 minutes?
I double checked my work, went play by play. After the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter, Patrick Mahomes threw for 177 passing yards.
And that's better than some games that Ben Roethlisberger had in an entire game. So to put that into perspective, though, just like that's a decent game for some quarterbacks. Like 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, maybe. Like that's pretty good, pretty solid game.
Ryan Tannehill.
Oh wow! Already throwing some some Tannehill slander out there. You may have some things to say about that later, right?
Yeah, we'll save that for the end.
We'll save. Hopefully, Austin's listening out there because he could stand to hear some of the rebuttals that you have for him. But overall, just an excellent weekend of football. Like just arguably the best. It's hard. It's obviously recency bias. But it's hard to think of a weekend where I was like every game was spectacular. And I think all 4 games, the total amount of points that decided all of those games was 15, which was an NFL record for that amount of games. So just what more could you ask for?
All
maybe
four
more
games. Yeah, all 4 games ending on walk-off scores.
walk-off
I
scores.
think what a lot of what had to do with it is the weekend before that, the games for the most part were kind of pretty lame. They were just pretty one-sided.
They were, yeah.
I think maybe we were going into this weekend with tempered expectations, and then that just completely surpassed
Blew them out of
everything
the
we thought it
water.
was going to be.
Well, and I think it brings up an interesting point about the kicking game because it proves how important it really is and how important a good kicker is because the Bucks missed a field goal right before halftime. I don't know if you recall that.
That was a
I
bad
do.
miss too. Yeah,
I do.
That should have
because,
been made.
yeah, that was a
I know
very
you
easy
do.
field goal.
Yeah.
And that changed everything. Like, really, it didn't seem like it in the game. Like, you're like, oh, they missed another field goal. They can't score for shit, right? Like, this is, what's new. But really, I think that would have made it like 23-6. So, like, it would have made a difference when it came down to, because look, they lost by a field goal. So
Yeah. Would have been 20-6 at halftime if they made
20-6. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and well, actually, and then right after that, didn't the Rams fumble like on like the 2-yard line or something?
Yeah, Cam Akers did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, talk about just like a crazy turn of events. That game felt like everything, it almost felt like God was doing everything he could so Tom Brady could come back. It felt so strange. Like,
Yeah, okay. Replace God with Satan, and I'll agree with you on that one.
Whoever, Roger Goodell, let's call it then.
Some higher power, some sort of higher power.
Some higher or lower
like
power.
the Buffalo Wild Wings shit, like, just like pressing a button and like something crazy happens, like
that snap to Stafford, like
yeah,
the snap to Stafford, the fumble, like I can't believe they didn't pull it off. Actually,
it's a series of events that led to that snap. Like, Brady gets sacked and Rams recover the ball, and you're like, okay, game over. Here we go.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Next play, snap 30 yards behind Stafford's head.
Like in their own field, yes.
Yeah.
When Stafford hit that pass and started sprinting down and was doing like yelling at everyone to come down so they could spike it, I thought immediately back to when he did that when they were on the 1-yard line. Obviously, they weren't on the 1-yard line this time, but he went ahead and just still snapped the play and scored a touchdown. I thought something crazy was going to happen right there.
And I just, it really, I mean, Tom Brady, like, obviously, played ridiculous, and so did the Rams defense. But it just makes you think, if he won that game, does that prove that we live in a simulation? Like, is that the nail in the coffin that really just takes it over the edge? Like this, if Tom Brady wins another freaking Super Bowl, like, will he win another one? I mean, I think it got Skip Bayless a little heated earlier when he was talking to Shannon about Tom Brady.
He almost had a heart attack on live TV.
I would show the clip, but we might get dinged for copyright, so I'm not going to show it. But his face, like when he's like, "It's my turn, like you, if you don't know what we're talking about, you just have to look it up. Skip Bayless and Shannon, was it Undisputed? Is that what their show's called?
Yeah,
just an argument about Tom Brady, I believe. I don't even really know what it was about. I just saw the clips, but
it reminded me of when Brandon Marshall was on that podcast with Ocho Cinco and just completely lost his mind. It's very, very similar. Yeah.
Well, I don't get it. Skip Bayless, he's a Cowboys fan, right?
But he's also a Tom Brady fan.
He's a Tom. So whenever the Cowboys inevitably lose in the playoffs or don't make the playoffs, he becomes a Tom Brady fan. So it's like he almost like a butterfly. Like, he's in his cocoon and his little Cowboys fandom all year long, and then he breaks out to be a Tom Brady fan, I guess. So
it's pretty convenient.
That's pretty ugly butterfly, Skip Bayless. But
you think Brady's cute or something, or it's just
he might have a crush on him. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But he went absolutely berserk today. It's really hard to describe. And whenever Shannon Sharp started clapping in his face, that's whenever you knew like it was over. Like whenever someone does that to you, like you're under their skin. Like it's
Oh, it was well beyond that point. He had a 70-year-old man yelling, "It's my turn! It's my turn!" on TV.
He's got to be older than 70, is he not?
Yeah, he's probably close to 80.
I feel like he's been the same age for years. Wow, how good call.
70 on the dot.
70 on the dot.
That was I wish I could bet on that, but if I had, I would have lost.
Jeez, that's amazing. Nice guess. Nice guess.
I'll take that win.
All right. So I mean, but just all in all, just a great weekend. Just fun to watch, actually. Even though you're sitting on your couch, it's fun though, right?
By the end of the night, I was not sitting on my couch. After Tyreek Hill scored that touchdown, I was losing my mind. And then Gabriel Davis scored, and I was on the ground with my head between my legs.
That's right, because you had the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs in the over, and I don't know
it's
how
a wild
that
2 minutes for
13
you.
13 seconds. I was.
You need to get like a tattoo of Patrick Mahomes or something, or like a poster, hang in your room.
I do. I really do. Maybe Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah, there you go. Get an NFT of one of his TikToks or something.
Well, speaking of Jackson Mahomes, he was in the box with what?
Brittany Mahomes, yeah, or whatever her name is, yeah,
whatever
his wife,
Casey Mahomes.
He was spraying champagne, and they were right above. I kid you not, they were right above the section where Chiefs fans and Alcoholics Anonymous were sitting. No, I swear. So
no way. I saw the video. But
earlier in the game, there was a sign on the jumbotron that said, "Please welcome Kansas City's Alcoholics Anonymous sitting in section 222." I did the math, looked up where she was sitting on the field. She was directly above 222 and started spraying the champagne on him. So
I mean, that's the type of thing that you cannot even make up.
But
what is? Yeah, and what a place for them to be at, though. That sounds like not the greatest place to be. With all everyone is drinking in a stadium.
That proves how strong you are. This is your final test of
until someone sprays champagne all over you. Then, you just
they got to the end of the
NASCAR
game.
Race.
Yeah, they got to the end of the game without drinking a drop, and then Brittany Matthews is
now they're opening up their. Oh my God!
How many people fell off the wagon?
Going to an NFL game. Yeah,
it's funny because dad joke alert. The Bills always circle the wagon, but Brittany Matthews was getting people falling off the wagon back into their alcoholism.
Wow,
right?
full circle there. Yeah, he said cheers. Full circle there. Jeez. I don't know who's worse, her or Jackson Mahomes. Whenever they both know how to get under your skin, but maybe they're doing it on purpose. So maybe if we just stop giving them attention, I think that's what needs to happen.
Yeah,
it shows how good of a guy Mahomes really is, because they're still being jerks, and if I was Patrick Mahomes, after the first or second time they caused scene, they wouldn't be allowed at the games. They go, honey and my brother, go watch on the couch.
Whenever he dumped water on the Ravens fans, I would have been this is it. Need to be in line here, or you can't.
Or danced on Sean Taylor's.
Okay, that one too. That one was pretty bad. Yeah,
I think Patrick is so busy because of who he is that he doesn't have time to be at home and really be around them and see how annoying they are.
And doesn't go on social media probably.
Yeah, and whenever he does end up retiring, he's probably gonna. Well, hopefully Jackson will have grown up by then. But I sincerely doubt that at this point.
Yeah, at this point, so he. I think there's been no indication of him changing his ways.
No,
since Patrick Mahomes has been in the league, and been relevant. Let's be honest, because he wasn't relevant until Patrick Mahomes was relevant. So. It's one of those things that I think I'm going to make a conscious effort to focus less energy into making fun of him, and I might feel better about myself. I don't know.
It's going to be tough, but
he makes it very hard. You're right. He makes it very hard.
We're not a TikTok podcast, and I always think about this. I don't understand TikTok. I guess I'm too old. whatever. But would he
We're too
still
old.
be TikTok famous without Patrick Mahomes being in the league? Like
No.
it's kind of like well, he's a good dancer, right? Is that what it's all about? Like, makes
Well,
memes
I
and
think
stuff?
it's one of those things like what came first, like the chicken or the egg type thing.
Yeah. Like
So
I bet you like the people who really love TikTok don't love the NFL. Like, I don't think the people following Jackson Mahomes on TikTok care that he's Patrick Mahomes' brother, right? Or
Maybe, but then you have people like Chase Claypool and Juju
yeah,
Smith-Schuster who are obsessed with TikTok.
true.
So for all we know, that's just Gen Z at this point.
It is. It really is. It's unfortunate. It really. It's actually sort of pathetic.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
It's it is one of the worst, but it's I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
There's apparently money in TikTok, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Get off my damn lawn, you
I
fucking
think that's
kid.
what makes it worse is that there's money in it. Like
I know.
That's what's driving. Whatever. We could go all day about this.
Well, we were just a little bit too old, and this is probably how people felt with like video games, like a little bit older than us, like 5-6 years older than us, probably like just like they never could quite get into it. Like, whenever we were getting into it, but I don't know.
Or like the great generation with rock and roll.
It's all generational bullshit.
Yeah, there'll always be something to hate.
Something to look back on, or maybe like Instagram too. Like we're on Instagram, or I don't know.
Well, we killed Applebee's, and boomers won't let us live that one down. So, we killed Applebee's, we killed Circuit City, we killed, I don't know, talking to people in person.
Wait, Applebee's is gone?
It's on life support, I think.
Yeah, I could do without Applebee's actually. Not a fan of Applebee's. Sorry if that's against the grain here.
I haven't been there since I was a 12-year-old in Roxborough.
Yeah, I went there for date night a couple of weeks back. When you're there, your family.
Yeah,
it's that Applebee's.
Yeah, it's definitely Applebee's, right? You know what else is back though now, and it's kind of upsetting. Is
it hurts? It hurts.
And I've been talking about it since the playoffs started, and I wish I wasn't because it's so terrible to think about. But it's the end of football depression. It hits me every year, and it's always right now, and it's right after this weekend where there's Saturday, Sunday games because now just the two games on Sunday, it just like I love having the Saturday, Sunday. Like I wish it was like that all season long. I wish we had games, and I wish they would move the Thursday games to Saturday. I think that's something that I could get behind.
Yeah, because I really don't like college football, and
college football sucks. No one cares.
Yeah,
no one cares about college football unless you're from Alabama, Clemson, or Georgia, or Florida, because you still think about the Tim Tebow days. Like I hate college. I could go on about college football, but I feel like Jack likes college football, doesn't he?
He likes to make money on college football. But I don't know if he necessarily likes.
If there was NFL on Saturday, would you bet college football still?
No.
Yeah.
No, because just call it what it is. Call it the minor leagues of the NFL.
It is.
None of these kids are going like if you're in the Alabama team or the Georgia team or the Clemson team, like we all went to Pitt. Like we knew kids on the basketball team, we knew kids on the football team. They weren't doing their work. They weren't going to classes. Like I bet you money that a majority of the starters on Alabama can't read. So it's kind of like, okay, it's supposed to be like college sports, like kind of not really though. Like stop.
Well, there's student athletes, Jack. What do you mean?
Not
student
anymore.
First.
Student comes first.
Student first, yeah.
Student first, yeah.
And most of them are going to go pro in something other than sports.
Right. As we know, thanks to the NCAA, they always know how to market their sports, right? I think the only good thing about football season ending, and this isn't even like close to like a consolation prize because it's really not. it's like, we're closer to March Madness, but that's not even that exciting. Like it's like March Madness is cool the first couple days, but then it's like, oh yeah, like this is just another like basketball game, like the championship, like
Yeah. And college basketball
March
also isn't as good as it used to be either. Like the
Right.
quality of play is also really like Duke and
Someone's going pro.
Carolina. Like the great teams historically, like aren't for the most part aren't as good as they once were. Like, I mean, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's good to have some new teams in there. But either way, like the talent level just isn't what it once was.
Well, March Madness is so exciting because of how starved we are for good sports. Like Super Bowl happens in February,
Correct.
and then you have regular season NBA and hockey, and you're like, oh, like, this really sucks. Like I'm watching Sports Center before work, and I'm seeing the highlight of like the Grizzlies Clippers game.
Yeah,
Not
where
really
there's
good for me.
Where there's like 83 other games in the year
Yeah.
that you could catch. Like,
yeah, and then the second there's that mid-major, the conference tournaments, it happens. It happens every year. There's some kind of crazy buzzer beater with like Middle Tennessee versus like I don't know
to get them into the dance.
The 12
to get them into the dance, or
to get them into the dance. Like you start getting excited with like oh, he hit a 40-foot jumper to get them into March Madness, and now they're the 14th seed that you're gonna pick in the first round. Be upset when they lose by 40 points, and you're like,
yeah, right, yeah, because at the end of the day, like sure, there's a couple Cinderella teams that might make it, but at the end of the day, it's still one of like the Power 5 conferences, like. That is in the final game. Like there's like the very like rare teams, like what was it like that one year, like UBMC or UMBC or whatever, Maryland, Baltimore County, UMBC, the Retrievers,
14 or 15 seed.
Yeah,
no, they
which
were
was
16.
cool.
They were 16. They beat the 1 seed.
They
beat Virginia,
but they didn't make it to the Final Four, right? They made it to the Elite. No, they didn't even make it to the Sweet 16.
I think they lost the very next game.
They did. Yeah, they did. Because that's all they had. They could only beat Virginia, and that was it.
And then did Virginia win the championship the next year or the year before that?
The next year. It
was the next year. Revenge.
Honestly, I think the big thing about March Madness is the fact that it's the conference championships and the first 2 rounds. You have games on at like noon in the middle of like the week. Like work isn't as like it's kind of like a holiday weekend. Like you don't really treat work like work. You're just watching basketball all day, throwing money away. It's great.
Yep. But it's the closest thing you got to a full slate of action on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Like or a full weekend of action, which was this past weekend, Saturday, Sunday. That setup though, like the 3-6 game, like I think this weekend is also 3 and 6, right?
Yeah.
For the conference championships.
I believe so.
But no, it's 3 and 6:30. 3 and 6:30.
Oh, you're talking about the times. I thought you were talking about the seed.
Like no. Sorry. Just the starting time. The starting time. Because like, I mean, last night it was like what 10 o'clock when that game was over. I don't even remember what time it was, but that's still pretty early. Like normally an 8:30 game's over at like 12:30, like 1 o'clock. Like,
yeah, I usually don't make it through the night game. Like, during the regular season.
Well, it was a disaster for me that it ended so early. Like this is gonna sound really weird, but usually the late game ends and it's close to midnight. I'm ready to go to bed. But I was so fired up, I couldn't sleep, and I was like, "What other sports are on?" And the Australian Open's on, and they have matches all throughout the night because it's in Australia. The time difference. I turned to Gabby, my girlfriend. I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing an all-nighter." She's like, "What?" I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna watch it for the rest of the night. Like, kid you not, like had to be at work this morning at 8 a.m. and I was up till 4:30 watching like Nadal.
Yeah, you sent me a snap at like 2:30. I woke up at like 6 to it. Just like triple box screen of tennis.
So okay, so you are currently on like at least you got some sleep. So it sounds like you actually went to sleep for a little bit. But you were on like a 2-hour night or 2-hour sleep night, basically.
I'm currently on a 2-hour sleep night. Yeah.
Jeez, that's awful. I mean, I was definitely fired up after that game. I was like, But I was like, I looked at the time. I was like, oh wow, it's so early. Like I can actually like unwind now, and like I don't have to like lay in bed and like look up at the ceiling, like pretend like I'm tired. Like, but that game, and I feel like we just keep coming back to it because how do you not really like when it's the game of the year? And this reminds me of that. I think it actually was played in Mexico. Chiefs Rams. Yeah, remember that? That game was pretty damn close to being as crazy as this, but I mean, I don't know if it quite tops it because of that was a regular season game, so like this was obviously meant a lot more. But imagine Jared Goff was the quarterback in that game. Like,
here's the easiest prediction of all time: if we get a Chiefs Rams Super Bowl, that's all we're gonna hear for 2 weeks. Like, oh, a rematch of the game of the century. Yeah. And now instead of having crappy,
but this time,
I know his name's Jared Goff, but he sucks, so I call him Jeff Joff because I think that's more suiting. Jeff Goff, man. Like instead of Jeff Goff, you got Matt Stafford. Like, oh, shut up, ESPN. Ellie Johnson, I hate her.
Well, do you remember on Hard Knocks whenever they showed Jared Goff's house when because they were with the Rams, and he had this like it was like a chipping green in his backyard, and him and like his girlfriend like were like chipping or something, and then like I don't know, it just makes me laugh because there's no way he still has that house, right? Like he definitely sold that house whenever they traded his ass.
I hate people, I swear to God.
He probably has the nicest house in Detroit. Actually, think about that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, think about the amount of like land you could have versus like an LA house. Like he's probably got like a farm out in Detroit or something.
I would hope I hope he doesn't live in Detroit.
Yeah, are there farms in Detroit?
I don't even know. I've never been to Detroit, but I imagine a bunch of farmland outside of Detroit for some reason.
What if he lived in 8 Mile? Spot up the whole trailer park.
He had the nicest trailer.
Him and Marshall.
Right.
I wonder if his mom's still there. Or Kim.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. But, well, actually, Jack, it will be crazy, though, if the Rams if it's Rams Chiefs, I mean, it could be Rams anyone, but if the Rams get a home game again. And I think, did someone say that last week, talking about Tampa Bay? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Tampa Bay with the home game. Yeah.
I said it. Look. 2 things. I'm always the guy. I'm like the smartest guy in the room, I think. Not to sound cocky or anything, but
you got it, man.
2 things. I said last week NFL's rigged. They're all about having a home team in the Super Bowl now. They broke the seal with Tampa Bay last week. And I said Robbie Gould was going to hit a walk-off 46-yard field goal. So there you go. I don't know how else to confirm
We'll have to get your picks for this week then. But why? So is it to inflate ticket prices or jersey sales? Like what would be the motive to have a home game for? I think it would be the opposite. You want people from out of town coming in, fans. Like Buffalo would have been a great franchise to have in the Super Bowl because Bills Mafia travels. Like they definitely travel very well.
No, and I understand that point, but you're always going to lose people when they have to travel. Like Rams fans aren't the biggest fans, so the only way for them to show up to a Rams Super Bowl was if you had it in their backyard.
To get the celebrities there, the Will Ferrells,
exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's one of those where they realize, like, okay, like we want the Los Angeles team in it because it's Los Angeles and there's a lot of brand power there. So.
Well, that and plus the epic halftime show coming. So all those LA-based people. That teaser they dropped for it is incredible, and I hope it lives up to the expectations. I really do.
Yeah, I was concerned that it's going to be a letdown.
Did you see the set list that got leaked?
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know because
okay.
I want it to be a surprise.
All right, I'm gonna ruin the surprise. It's all Taylor Swift covers.
Oh, good. That's what I was anticipating, actually.
Yeah, because Middle America was very upset about the halftime show being a little too cool for their taste. So that's the compromise. Dr. Dre and Kendrick are just gonna sing the Fearless album. So
Middle America is upset about the very first rap halftime show. And what is it, Super Bowl 56? Is that what this one is? 56 years. It's the first hip hop artist to perform on there.
Is it really?
I heard that on TV. That I don't know if that's true, but I'm just gonna report it like it's true.
Is Janet Jackson hip hop? Because
that's what I was. I mean, you can't really say
she's like an R&B, like pop.
What about
pop
Justin Tim? I mean, not
he's
really.
What about the Weeknd?
Yeah.
What about is the Weeknd?
He's a pop star too.
That was the freaking worst halftime show ever. I hated that halftime show.
That video of him running through that like glass like mirror.
The Maze of Mirrors was awesome. It was like the Carnival meets the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he set the bar very low, we could say. So
really
whatever happens this year, it will be better.
There hasn't been a good Super Bowl since that Left Shark with Katy Perry.
That was good. That was what, 2012 almost.
That was Niners Ravens when the lights turned out.
2012, right?
Oh,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis got his Super Bowl.
Back to the home team Super Bowl theory. I heard that Philadelphia has put in a bid for 2026 because it's the bicentennial or 250th anniversary of America. So I don't know if they're going to get it, but
well, don't they usually try?
that's
it. Don't they usually try to make it somewhere warm? Like
yeah,
that's what I always thought it was. Like,
wasn't it in Giant Stadium one year?
Yeah, they had the Super Bowl in Giant Stadium, and it was like 2 degrees.
It was frozen.
It was a horrible game. I don't know. I want to say that was one of the Super Bowls. Was that Colts Super Bowl? Was that Colts?
Broncos Seahawks?
Well, I mean, you could have it at a place like Minnesota, like that's where the Eagles won theirs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even though I live in Philadelphia, I would not want the Super Bowl to be here. That just sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah. Imagine like your team makes it, and you're from like the Rams, like make it, and like, do they have fans that travel? They might not even have fans that travel.
Definitely not to come here.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys made the Super Bowl and it was in Philadelphia, let's just say there'd be more murders than normal in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's a hard number to eclipse. So
we
won't go into that.
Yeah, not to get political or anything, but there'd be a lot of dead Cowboys fans.
Has the Super Bowl been at Jerry World yet? It was, right?
It has to then.
I think 3 years ago, maybe.
Or was it? Yeah, I think it was like the first year was open actually.
The Eagles won in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, it was Minnesota.
Yeah,
2011.
Oh, it was that's when it opened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I can't. That's actually insane. That's actually insane that it's been that long.
Jeez.
Who? Oh yeah. That was when we were freshmen in college. The Steelers lost to the Packers.
Oh yeah, black and yellow.
So that was the Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, green and yellow.
Green and yellow.
Fake Packers fan.
Wow, Aaron Rodgers, 11 years since he won a Super Bowl. That's pretty crazy to think about. What a loser.
Lost to the 49ers 4 times in the playoffs.
Well, I was thinking about this yesterday. Can you think of anyone who's fallen from grace so quickly? Like literally a year ago, he was everybody's favorite quarterback, going to be the new host of Jeopardy. Like,
true.
So we love him.
Well, he's still like the MVP, and probably back-to-back MVP too.
Yeah, I mean, he's the back-to-back MVP. But the second he lost, everybody on Twitter or the internet was like, "Oh, guess he's scared of getting vaccinated for winning in the playoffs." It was like,
immunized from the playoffs.
Yeah, something along those lines. Like I saw, like people who don't even watch sports were just tweeting it out, like, oh, Aaron Rodgers. That's why you should get your shots, because if you don't, you'll score 10 points in the home playoff game.
Which is actually insane that they only put up 10 points. I mean, he really did not have a good game at all. So I guess the weather. Why don't they just build a dome? They should just build a dome in Lambeau. Like, I get it. Like, it's cool. Like, it's history. But, like, let's just build a dome there. Like, let's solve this problem.
It's so cold there.
Let's just the rest. Lambeau Field is not like a destination. Okay, Soldier Field,
No.
Lambeau Field, like all these NFC North, we're tough football weather. No one wants to go to the middle of bumfuck Wisconsin to go sit in a 2-degree game and watch like a 13 to 10. I'm so sick and tired of it. Like,
It's true. I mean, at least the Vikings and Lions got domes. Like the Bears, Chicago's cold as hell too. Let's.
The Vikings were forced into building that new stadium because their old stadium
collapsed.
That was awesome.
Maybe it was an inside job. Maybe they did it on purpose so the insurance companies paid for it.
Target did
it. Let's get that conspiracy theory going. Target did it. Yeah.
Target is behind everything.
In Minnesota, at least,
yeah, right. Well, speaking of Minnesota, you know what else is ugly this past weekend? People who complain about changing the rules after something happens that they don't like. Like, for instance, the overtime rules. Something that's been a part of football since the beginning of time, basically. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
What's that have to do with Minnesota?
When they complain about the Saints.
It has nothing to do with Minnesota. The
pass interference. Well, I guess the Saints complain about pass interference.
Yeah, that was
way, they were involved in it.
Yeah. That was the Rams that pass interfered. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, the Vikings won that game with Diggs walk off.
Yeah,
I agree.
And then they played the Eagles after that.
It's convenient for the losing team to complain. If the Bills win that coin toss, Chiefs fans are doing the same thing probably.
Well, let's be honest. Everyone wanted more football. That was not enough football, and the way they were playing. Like, if that was the entire game, could you imagine? Like, if they were playing like that the entire game?
Why don't they? About the over? I know
yeah, why don't they? I don't know. But that was everyone wanted more football. But the game has to end, especially in playoffs. There has to be a winner. So what are you going to do? Like, maybe I could see the argument of just playing the entire quarter the whole way through, regardless of who scores or who scores what. But is that something that they would do? I don't think so, because that's not the rules.
Yeah, you're just running the risk of a second overtime quarter, which is according to them, it's about injury prevention. So that's just gonna further that.
But I think we nailed it right on the head. I think Hub said it best, that the losing team is always going to find something to complain about. So let's say you change the rules to a 15-minute overtime. The Chiefs win the toss, get the ball first, score a touchdown. The Bills get the ball, score a touchdown. There's 3 minutes left, and the Chiefs get in the field goal range and kick a field goal to win. And then the Bills fans are like, well, they got 2 possessions and we got 1. Like, we really have to justify that. Like, shut up. Like, all your team had to do was keep Patrick Mahomes from driving down the field in 13 seconds.
80 yards.
Yeah.
Or do a squib kick when you score that touchdown.
Squib kick, you waste like at least 3 seconds. So that's 10 seconds just to deal with now.
And they probably only get 1 or 2 plays off as opposed to 3.
Yeah.
And would they get 2 plays?
So very similar situation in the Rams game and the Chiefs game. You have 2 playmakers. In the Chiefs situation, you have 2 playmakers. You have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce that you have to cover. In the Rams situation, they had Cooper Kupp to cover, and they didn't do either of those things. Yeah. Like the Rams was probably worse than the Chiefs play because Travis Kelce just made an unbelievable play. And I just when you're a defender, like you need to be targeting or know where the best players are on the field at all times. It's that simple. And you can prevent something like that from happening. The Rams had 4 seconds or no? 7 seconds, or they had 4 seconds. How long did they have whenever they got the ball back?
I think it might have been like
20 seconds
total. Maybe? It was like 40. I think when he first had it, but like at that point, I think with that last pass, there was only like 11 seconds left or something. And
and I think the problem, what really creeped into the Bills' heads that last possession, is that I think it was that Tyreek Hill's given the deuces to the player and scored the touchdown.
When he was in front of him?
Yes.
Because
Which is
no one
insane. How fast is he? Holy shit.
Yeah, and no one wants to be the defender that gets burnt for the game losing touchdown. So then you start like playing a little bit back, and you
That Jonathan
forget.
Gannon defense?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you're playing against Tyreek, right? You're not playing.
Yeah,
against
you're
Travis.
playing way
Yeah.
too conservatively, and it opens up like 40 yards, and then oops, they're in field goal range, 2 seconds left. I don't know. The overtime rules are fine. Everyone, like you guys have said, and like all the rational takes have said, everyone's gonna bellyache when they lose. Happened
Right.
to the Chiefs 4 years ago, and look, they're just on the other side of the coin.
And Chief, I've talked with Chiefs fans, the guys from the Cinnaboys, they agree. They're like, yeah, I think the rule should change, but we've also gotten screwed by it. Like, so like, I don't know. I just don't think it will change. Is what the NFL is not going to do, right? Like,
there's nothing more fair than a coin toss. You know what I mean? Like
50-50
everybody's got an equal
50-50
choice.
chance.
And really, no one's talked about Josh Allen getting the coin toss wrong. Like if he was a real like elite quarterback, wouldn't
he
he
did
have
take
called
tails
heads?
though?
yeah, well, if he took heads and it was tails, everyone would be like, tails never fails. Like, and then,
He doesn't.
yeah.
So do you think he was forced into calling tails
Yeah,
because of media pressure, but he
he
wanted to
could-
call heads?
He didn't want to be made fun of.
That's something to think about. We'll never know.
The
Because
mainstream media.
In a situation like that, you want to go against the grain. You want to be different. Like Josh Allen, you want to win this game, you got to be different. You got to stand out.
He succumbed to peer pressure, and that's why he lost the coin toss.
Do you think the elements can
sad.
affect the coin toss? Like if there's wind or if it's
Oh.
cold, is it going to drop faster? I don't know
If
how
there's-
science works, so I'm not really sure. But
What was the dew point last night? I'd have to do some math.
I'm surprised. Like, have they ever played on a muddy field where the coin just gets stuck on its side? Like it just plants into the mud.
And it's like, and then it's straight up and down. So it's
Game over.
What happens? Yeah, game over.
The game ends in a tie.
Eagles win.
Both teams have to advance to the next round. It's
They end with a tie. The Bengals get a bye to the Super Bowl.
yeah, just because they haven't been there in so long. So, your first time since 1987. All right, here you guys get a pass to the Super Bowl.
This is the first text. This is the first time that people can text that the Bengals are going to the Super Bowl.
Send that text.
That's an actual stat.
Well, I am happy for. It's unfortunate for Titans fans in Austin, of course, and Derrick Henry, who's now our follower too.
Thank you, Derrick.
It was a pretty poor game, though. That was a bad game. The way that game was played out, I was like thinking to myself, like, this is going to be a repeat of last weekend. Like, these games are going to be bad, right? Like, and I guess the ending was, exciting, but
it was ugly.
It still kind of felt like it was over. I don't know. The amount of times that Joe Burrow got sacked was ridiculous, though. That 9 times, it was no one should ever be sacked 9 times. Like that's, and you shouldn't lose that game if you sack someone 9 times. Like,
no.
How didn't any of those get the ball get knocked out or like something happened, something crazy happened?
The power of Joe Burrow.
I'll tell you exactly how they lost. Like I guess we're going into ugly now, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we've been in ugly. We're people who complain about rule changes, and I think you have some gripe with Ryan Tannehill. I think
this is ugly part 2. Like I'm speaking directly to the newest dad I know, Austin. Read his article. It's titled "Sigh, Let's Talk About Where the Titans Went Wrong." Hint: it's not Tannehill.
You think it is Tannehill? You think it is Tannehill?
This is just an emotional plea. Austin, I've been in this quarterback purgatory before. I grew up rooting for the Eagles, who would go to the NFC Championship game every year.
Donovan
and
Mcnabb
every year, we make an excuse why it wasn't McNabb's fault. It was McNabb's fault. The Titans lost. It was McNabb's fault. Now that I'm an adult, I could see it was McNabb's fault. And I'll
Perspective.
tell you right now, it's also Tannehill's fault. I'm sorry, but I gotta snap him out of this. He needs to wake up. I can't see Austin suffering like this. This is classic quarterback Stockholm syndrome.
Yes.
I pulled up Ryan Tannehill's playoff numbers. He's
Playoff numbers.
These are his playoff stats. He's 2-3 in his 5 career playoff stats. 5 games, 754 total yards. So he's averaging around 125 yards a game, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Oh,
okay. Here,
at least he has more touchdowns than interceptions. I will give him that one. We will give him that one.
That is the one.
Yes, yeah, but 3. Let's remind ourselves. Wait, hang on. 3 of those interceptions came on Sunday, so just remind yourself of that.
One being the very first play of the game.
Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go a little bit further because I really did a deep dive because I was worried about Austin, especially after a game like Saturday. The 2 wins that Ryan Tannehill has as the Titans starting quarterback in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
One against New England, he was 8 of 15 for 72 yards, a touchdown and an interception, and one against Baltimore, 7 of 14, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, let me explain what those stats mean. Ryan Tannehill can only win playoff games where Derrick Henry runs for 200 yards and scores 3 touchdowns, and the defense shuts him down. You need a quarterback who could go out there and win. You need a quarterback who, when the game's on the line, won't lose. Austin, I'm telling you right now, the Titans lost yesterday because of Ryan Tannehill from beginning to end. From the first throw, interception, to the last throw, interception.
First play of the second half, too. I mean, it was really bad. It was hard to watch. And
it's hard to see him defending Ryan Tannehill. Okay, you could cherry pick whatever stats you want. We used to do the same exact thing for Donovan Mcnabb. Donovan McNabb had the same passer ratings in the regular season. Same thing with fourth quarter comebacks. Some quarterbacks just don't have it. And
don't have the clutch, and clearly Patrick Mahomes has it. It's something you can't be taught. It's right. We've seen Patrick Mahomes make these plays. It's proven.
That touchdown pass to Kelsey was like in that movie Wanted, where you can curve the bullet around a wall. He threw he didn't even see Kelsey was open. He just, I don't know how. I was so happy. I don't know how that happened.
He just knew he'd be there.
Happy. Quick fun fact, by the way, now that we were talking about Donovan McNabb, the last quarterback to get sacked 8 times or more in a playoff game and still win was, in fact, Donovan McNabb. Well,
actually, he still holds that stat still because they didn't win. He actually still holds that record.
No. I mean,
unfortunately,
for Burrow got sacked 9 times.
Oh, that's right, because Burrow got that. That's right. Sorry, you're right. My bad. I thought we were talking about
X, 4th and 26.
It was first down, Freddie, right? Freddie Mitchell.
First down, Freddie.
He's a crazy person, but we won't.
Yeah,
we won't go into that.
He made a nice catch, though. He made a nice catch. Yeah, it's he's a good player. It's like Antonio Brown. He's a good player, but we won't talk about his off the field antics.
But I'm sorry, I got to wrap this up. Austin, you're listening. Snap out of it. Tannehill's never going to win a Super Bowl for the Titans. Please.
Someone needs to tell him maybe.
Wake up.
Yeah, it's. I think it's good that it's coming from an Eagles fan because you went through it. You've lived it. Donovan McNabb. And do you think it would have happened with Carson Wentz if he stayed around or
No.
No?
Oh, okay. No, that was a quick no.
I just can't get rid of that image of Wentz's left-handed interception this year. That's I used to be a big Wentz fan and defend him, and I'm so glad he's gone at this point.
Well, it's funny that now that we brought up that the Wentz thing, I don't know if you saw this one, Jack, but so the 3 wins that Jacksonville had this year, the 3 wins. Number 1, kept the Colts out of the playoffs, which we were just talking about. Carson Wentz kept the Colts out of the playoffs. Number 2, kept the Dolphins out of the playoffs. Number 3, it forced the Bills to play last night's game on the road, because if they beat the Jags in Jacksonville, which is that 9-6 game, like the worst game ever, they would have had home field advantage. So could you imagine that game in Buffalo last night?
I think the Bills probably win.
I think the Bills win. Yeah, I think that it just proves how much the Jags can fuck everyone's season up. Like the Jags are the reason that the Steelers made the playoffs. So
I think you just made the case for Urban Meyer Coach of the Year, right?
Coach of the Year.
Trevor Lawrence Rookie of the Year.
Except I think 2 of those wins came after he was already fired. So I mean, he started it though. He planted the seed. He let it grow.
They won those games for Urban. They said, let's get this one for the coach that we love and definitely doesn't kick us during practice.
Yeah, the guy that kicked us.
The first win came after the whole thing with the chick at the bar, right? They went to London and beat the Dolphins. I know because I bet on the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so he was still around for that one.
That was his lone win.
And Urban Meyer is the first coach to get his first NFL win in London. So like he's
first and coach. Last, maybe first and last win.
He's global.
Yeah, the world's best coach,
Mr. Worldwide. Boy. So shout out to the Jags for just messing everyone's season up. And there's always gonna be a team like that, right? You know, it's the Jags. It's gonna be the Lions. You know, it's gonna be those type of games.
The Texans like to do it too.
The Texans are another good one. Yeah. Okay, so before we get to our picks, or actually, should we do picks real quick, guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's and Jack was hot last week, so if you're listening, you might want to tail Jack's picks. I think Hub and I. Let's see. Hub had the Titans and under, Packers and under, Bucks and under, and Bills and under. You had all the unders, by the way.
You know what I did though? I faded myself in real life, so I actually won money this weekend, guys.
There you go. That's what you need to do if you're listening out there.
Yeah.
What about? Let me update our other picks that we picked 2 weeks ago. I think I am officially out. Bills out. Tampa Bay out. Jack still has Kansas City
and the Rams.
And the Rams, yeah, that's right. And Hub has 49ers.
And Bengals.
And Bengals, yeah.
The Dogs.
So I am officially out, guys. It's down to the two. It's down to the 2 of you.
Jack might find himself in the championship, though.
Well, can we talk about how smart we were to not pick any of the 1 seeds, though? Like, brilliant move on our part, being so sharp to know they were going out right away.
It's a big brain move there. That's what that is. Because we just knew they would lose, and it wouldn't be fair anyway. So it was a win-win for us. Yeah. We should have bet on that too. Imagine parlaying both. I guess it wouldn't be that juicy, but 49ers and Bengals, that better been pretty juicy.
With Gabriel Davis 4 touchdowns last
with
night.
Gabriel Davis, yeah, there you go. That's how you become a millionaire right there.
It was plus 520 that parlay.
Was it? Did you do it?
I don't know. Maybe someone did it.
No, he did it. Good for you, Jack.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so who wants to start out? Let me find the lines here. I think it's pretty even. Oh no,
-7 for the Chiefs.
The second game is pretty even. -7.5. I'm seeing.
Oh, it's moving.
All right, I'm gonna take the Chiefs before it gets to 10. Chiefs -7.5.
Jack's taking the Chiefs -7.5. What about the over/under? The over/under is 54.5.
Oh, that's high. I got burnt thinking that I'll go over. Whatever.
All right, Hub. What about you?
I'm gonna agree with Chiefs -7.5. That Bengals offensive line is so bad. I'm going to go with the under just for the sake of the Bengals not getting to score many points because of that.
Wow. And I'm gonna go against the grain here since I'm just a big loser anyway. I'm gonna go Bengals plus 7.5. I I don't even know about this total. I'll take the over as well, just because I'm also a loser.
Well, if the
All right,
Bengals keep
second.
it close, I like the over for sure.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good game. Hopefully, maybe not. The spread says otherwise. All right, what about 49ers Rams? 49ers plus 3.5. Niners
Rams.
plus 3.5. Jack's sticking with
Rams.
the Rams. He's going with his guns. The Rams.
Look, people on the show don't know, but we actually had an outside bet. Whoever's team wins the Super Bowl gets $10,000. So I have to.
We did say that. I forgot. Fuck.
Okay. Comes from Cork Bats ad revenue from Manscaped.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. 46.5 is the total.
Under.
Hub.
Gonna go Niners 3.5 under.
Wow. I'm gonna go Niners. I'm going both dogs, and I'm gonna go over. I think both teams are gonna score. I think Jimmy G in warmer weather is gonna fare a little bit better than in Green Bay.
Do you think Ramsey can temper Debo, or you think he's still just?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone can.
No, he's
Debo is one of those players. You just freak of nature, like
kind of like Tyreek Hill, but bigger.
Kind of, yeah. Just I think it could be what Kyle Pitts could be as well. Just like a totally different player than what his position reads.
Hybrid.
Yeah, exactly. I like hybrids. I don't know about you guys. I like hybrid. Nice hybrid.
They're good cars.
Yeah. I like my engine to purr.
All right. So, what about who do you guys think is going to win the Super Bowl at this point between the four teams? Who do you got besides the picks that we already made?
See, I don't want to give that away because you could get that information on jackryanbets.com for $20.
Get all your picks.
Type in the keyword junk drawer. You get 50% off my lock. So
50% off.
jackryanbets.com.
Are you doing a $3,000 deposit match?
Yeah. In that case, sign me up.
Yeah, if you deposit $3,000, we'll take another $3,000 out of your bank account. So
that's probably what Caesars Sportsbook should have done.
Yeah. Right. Guys, and then I will leave you before we get out of here. We need to get to the Frank fact. And the Frank fact, of course, is Frank is someone who used to write for Court Bats, and he is good friends with Austin. They grew up together. And now he just gives us a fact every week that we just marvel in and basically just sit here in awe and just talk about how crazy it is. This week, it's for the nerds out there. So this one doesn't necessarily hit home as hard as some of his other ones do for me. But the computers responsible for the moon landing had only 4 kilobytes of RAM. And I think most computers come with like terabytes of RAM now. So
yeah, 1 terabyte.
Kilobytes are very small and very I don't even know. Is it like simple? Like what do you even say about that? Like it's very basic, right? It couldn't even run like a video game, I guess.
So Frank's fun fact is the moon landing was staged. Is that what you're telling me, or?
It was done in a West Hollywood parking lot.
Got it.
So, moral of the story, the technology didn't exist back then to go to the moon. We're not even sure if the moon's real. I still think it's made out of cheese. I don't know about you guys.
I can't even see it, so.
Yeah. I mean, if they couldn't play Super Mario 64 in 1969, how are they going to land on the moon? Just use common sense, okay? Come on.
not to bring it up again, but it's like one of those things like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like I think we know the answer here. It was
The moon.
Yeah, the moon. But that is the Frank fact, guys, and it's it's not supposed to show us that the moon isn't real, but I think that's what it was telling us.
That's
now.
what we gather.
Yeah, that's what we got.
We read in between the lines. We
Yeah.
found the real Frank fun fact of the week.
Yeah, right.
Frank's in the Illuminati. He just subliminal facts.
Did we just break the Da Vinci Code or something? Like what is going on?
Should we cut the feed real quick? Yeah.
Oh no.
Before they come to get us. But thank you to everyone who listened and tuned in. Again, hit subscribe, hit like. Our YouTube, we've always got videos coming out. You know what to do. It's free. Just do it. Help
Real
us
quick,
out.
I noticed that we didn't talk about Novak Djokovic until I just said his name just now, and we haven't received a Russian comment yet, or Serbian, or whatever language that is.
So just keep saying Novak Djokovic, and maybe one will appear. Is that the strategy?
Kind of like the Candyman or whatever that thing is. Where you look in the mirror. Yeah.
I'll tell you this much: Novak Djokovic will not win the Australian Open this year. Take that, Serbia.
You heard it here first.
What are the odds?
Yeah, you heard it here first, guys. But thanks again for tuning in, guys. Do you guys have anything to leave us with the road? Anything? Any tips or any fun facts?
The second I get off, I'm gonna be watching the Jeopardy I recorded. Amy, the running champion, she could become the first transgender person to win 40 straight Jeopardy games. So
40
there
straight.
You go.
40 straight. She's a monster.
Damn.
And it's extra funny because Ken Jennings is the host, the ultimate champion. You can tell he's getting threatened because he starts.
He's worried. Yeah, he's gonna have to.
Worried.
He's gonna have to flip flop. He's gonna have to go back to contestant for a second to try to beat her.
And he starts off every show saying like, "Oh, well, she's won 39 straight, but 40 is no picnic." And you're like, all right.
Yeah. He definitely wants her to lose. That's for sure.
So
I feel like he felt the same way about that other guy that came up through the ranks.
Gambler
James.
Yeah,
or James Holzhauser. Yeah. He was a bit of a weirdo, but Ken Jennings is definitely weirder though.
Yeah. If you win that many games of Jeopardy in a row, I don't think you see much sunlight.
I feel like he's a robot, like him and Zuckerberg.
They kind of look alike. They're like just different models. Like the Ken Jennings is just the Zuckerberg one. You know what I mean?
First gen
Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
5G Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
We're definitely getting killed by the Illuminati now.
Yeah, we better get out of here before something bad happens. But thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to water your plants. It's cold out there, but they also need watered. So I don't know. Yep, there you go. Thank you, Jack.
I have one. It's dying, but
well, make sure you water your dog.
I'll go water.
Water your dog too.
Water your house if it's still burning down. Jesus.
Yeah, I think I just need a bunch of water right now.
Yeah.
I'll go get that.
Well, speaking of water, we got a bunch of snow here in Pittsburgh, so I got to get a shovel. So
be careful.
Wish me luck, guys. Yeah. But do you guys know how I end this thing?
Ahoy.
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 Ahoy.